decisions from directors or casting directors are going to be made when you walk in the door. So when you're walking into the room to stand in front of them to say your lines, you're already auditioning when you're opening the door. So my answer to that would be energy. You want to come in with energy. And there is no right energy to exude. You either, in a certain way, you either are the part or you're not. And a lot of stuff, if you don't get the part, it's not bad. It's like, oh, you didn't act good enough. It was, you didn't match for the part. But one thing that I would say was also with the energy. I had a guy come in, he did a read, and to this day, I don't know if it's because the actor he was portraying was a terrible actor or he himself was a terrible actor. But there was no energy there. So it's like, I don't know if he's playing a part of somebody who's just mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted, or if he himself just, there's nothing there. So, when you do something, if you do something, and like I said, there's a have variety. Have a comedic monologue set up. Have a drama monologue set up. Have a monologue where you're angry. Have a monologue where you're looking at your dad who, when you skinned your knee, he helped make it better, and he's on his deathbed. Have a variety of different stuff. So, me as a director, I've gone out, I was like, wow, yeah, that was really, really great, but this character is more like this. You're almost there. Can you give me something that's a little bit more serious or a little bit more comedic? So, energy and variety is really what I have to say.
And like they both were saying, it really depends on what you're auditioning for, but you should have a couple in your bag, serious or dramatic. And they used to tell us to have something like a classical, like something from Shakespeare, to really show that diversity of what you can do, because Shakespeare would definitely stretch you. Me personally, I think comedic monologues are the hardest to do, because you have to, either you have the timing or you don't. So if you can go in and you can make a room full of strangers laugh, oh, you got it, so definitely find some good ones that you can work on. My favorite, I love August Wilson stuff. You can find, and he has some very rich and deep monologues. And August Wilson, for a lot of actors, it's very tough for them to do these plays because his stuff is written. I mean, when I was talking about the beats, his stuff is like poetry. It's like music in acting form, and you have to be able to, deliver those lines and find the different points where the emotion is varying. It's like this. In an August Wilson monologue, it's like a curve. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You might laugh, you might cry. So find stuff that's true to you. Find stuff that gives, that you have a deep passion for, and bring it to life.
In my experience, in probably 11 years, any actor that I've sent to a film audition, maybe 2 or 3 had to have a monologue. Never for commercial. So, and that's just because it's a cold read. Now for theater, you should have it, but in my experience as an agent, I have never, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 actors where they requested, because guess what? He's the writer, he wants to see his piece, not something that you've rehearsed and that you already know. But you're supposed to, like everybody said, you're supposed to have it. You're supposed to be able to recite a monologue, but it's not mainly for stage. But film, here's your sides, here's your character. And then be able to ask the director. If you're not what they're looking for, they're going to say next. They're not going to give you the opportunity, but you might say, I remember my son in the movie Having Our Say, he said, do you want me to do this in a southern accent or a northern accent? He asked the director, and you have that right to do that as well. I think Elise is very open to that, but even C&J Casting is very open to that. You ask, do you want me to show you something more? One of the things that's very important too is actors, they don't know who they want. That's the reason why they're having an audition. If they knew who they wanted, they would just say, hey, we want Mark. And let me say this, that's happening a lot. They're saying that we want this person, this person, this person. They don't have the time to see 100 people and only 30 of them are qualified. Okay.
I think one of the things that we didn't touch on was training. You can have experience, but you can't replace getting the training from classes from, people like Vince, people from like Elise. And I'll tell you, even some film festivals that you go to, they have workshops, they have training. I mean, there might be other workshops going on in this city. Just getting involved with a group of people that can help you sharpen your tool is irreplaceable. You know, I myself went to the American Black Film Festival in June, and they always have some type of workshop. They had an alternate pitch session, well, which helps you to like pitch your ideas to network executives and stuff like that. They had a directing workshop with John Singleton. Typically, Bill Duke would do an acting workshop there, acting boot camp, and he didn't do it this year, but those are the types of things that you have to really look for, where you can go to sharpen your tools. Because I had to sit down with John Singleton, man, just to see what he knew about directing and how I can make myself a better director. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not reading a script, I'm not editing something, I'm not picking up the camera and shooting, because you have to always work and sharpen your craft. So if you're a writer, if you're an actor, you have to be working on it every day. And it just goes to show your level of seriousness about it. And it's going to show up, you're going to see it, because you're going to start getting booked for jobs. You know, you're going to start building up that reputation, and people can't get enough of you. You know, and then it becomes a situation where people are like, yeah, I want that person. Well, you don't even have to audition. We need to get them a script. You know, because if I'm like, okay, if I want to get Halle Berry, I need to get her the script. You know, I don't need her to audition for it. I need to get her the script. So, you know, and that's how the type of person that you want to be when you're an actor. Build up your brand name. You know, so build it up and build it up strong.
With what Vince was saying, is like, yes, we're you know, as a director, it's like, yes, I want you to be able to read mine. And if cold reads are not your forte, if they're your weakness, like has been said before, practice. Get 3 friends and have each one of them go online to Internet Movie Database, wherever. Have them get you a monologue from any particular type of movie. Don't let them tell you. They sit in front of you, and then they'll hand you that script, and then they'll go, do it right now. And then from there, without even reading on it, act it out in front of them. And that will, it's like doing impromptu speeches in public speaking. Beginning of the class, you're, but at the end of the day, once the school is over, then you're able to go, okay, ferrets, yeah, okay. So you can immediately start flying on that. So if cold reads are not your forte, then practice.
Just wanted to say one thing. Speaking as an actor now, what has helped me in my many years of being affiliated with Vincent Talent Link, those of you that are with Talent Link as actors actually may have the book, The Talent Guide. If you don't have it, you should get it. As an actor, that's what has helped me. There's a list in the book of additional skills that you have as a human being. Some of you may be jugglers, some of you may be martial artists, some of you may be expert swimmers. So you want to hone those additional skills, and those actually help you as well. So that's just a little something. That's a little checklist that helps you. So it's helped me. So if you don't have the Talent Guide, see Vince.
Yeah. On DVD.
On DVD. Yeah. Absolutely. There have been times that I've actually auditioned for plays, especially before I really ventured into film, where here's the funny thing about it. I've auditioned for a role for a woman once. It was written for a woman. Now, it wasn't, the content wasn't to alter any orientation or anything like that, but the character was actually, they wanted it to be a woman for this particular character, who was actually supposed to be a homeless individual. And it was in a theatrical production. I auditioned for it anyway. So yeah, there have been times when I actually had to submerge myself in a role, and actually I went back to audition for a second character and just changed my look altogether. You become the character, you bring the story to life. So I think that's challenging, but it's most effective for every actor and actress. Samuel L. Jackson has been known to do that. He's auditioned for a few roles that have been written for women or for Caucasian men, etc. So I've had to do that on several occasions. Mostly in the area of theater.